Druries. This is getting out of hand. Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche Pregame Show, live from the Toyota Lounge, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships and presented by Bet365. We got J. Mike and Rudo coming to you as the Avs are taking on the New York Rangers this time to finish up a 4-game homestand. The Avs looking to make it 7 straight wins and a perfect 4-0 at home in this run. The Rangers are a weird team this year, but very good on the road. So the Avs, I don't know if I'd call it a test necessarily or anything like that, but the Avs need to come ready tonight, J-Mike.
What do you feel like plays into something like that with New York's success on the road, their struggles at home? Is that randomness maybe that we're putting too much stock into? Is there too much pressure at the Garden? Like, I don't know. When you look at their record and you see those splits, what jumps out to you in that aspect?
I mean, I think it's definitely some randomness. For it to be as extreme as it has been, that's not all a narrative or a storyline or whatever. But I do think it is true that the vibes are bad around the New York Rangers, stemming from last season and all of the nonsense that went on with this organization. I do think they probably feel a little bit extra pressure, or maybe they just feel a little bit worse at home when it comes to those things. You can't explain them being shut out as many times as they have at home. It's just a weird thing. So a little of A, a little of B. I think it's some of both, but certainly whenever they seem to get out of New York and get on the road, whatever that is goes away and they're fine.
The difference is wildly stark. They're 6-1 over their last 7 road games, and they get dominated on their home ice. Their whole lineup is kind of weird. Like, even on the road, it's not like they're the best scoring team in the league. They score well, but they're given the firepower at the top of their lineup. Sure, it's starting to age a little bit. Sure, it's not what it used to be. 1-8 at home. Yeah, 6-1 on the road.
Like, it doesn't make it that much sense. They should probably be a better team than they are if they were even functional at home. But also, I have no faith in the Rangers to get it right. So
that's wild. I can't get over that.
I know. It's hard to explain. Again,
I mean, they should be up for this game, I guess, based on the track record.
Recent results, surely they feel good on the road, but they don't know that they've played a team like the Avs on the road just yet. So it might be a little bit tougher tonight.
That's fair. I mean, it's never easy to go to Vegas, but there's levels to this, and coming into this arena, especially with how this team is playing at the moment and the pace they're keeping, toughest challenge in hockey.
No doubt. They are the team that everyone is trying to measure up to. So it gets, on the one hand, credit to the Avs for putting themselves in this situation. On another hand, it's not easy when everyone wants to bring their best against you every single night. Yeah, you're the team everybody gets up for. Everybody wants to play the A game against you. You're going to have to be better than everyone's best pretty much every night.
I think it's one thing to climb the mountaintop. I don't know if there's anything harder in sports than sustaining it once you get there.
Yeah, I mean, we see it all the time, right? There's plenty of teams that might be cup favorites that don't necessarily win the President's Trophy.
Fizzle out.
Yeah, right. Plenty of President's Trophy teams don't make it. The Avs historically are one of the teams that have won the President's Trophy and the Cup, obviously, long time ago. Very different team. No one is still around from 25 years ago. But it can be done. But you need to really be a special team to be able to accomplish that. It's November, so it's hard to say the Avs are that team, but
almost December.
Feels pretty good. Yes, true. It's, December's coming up quick.
I mean, a quarter of the season. It's not like we're doing this a weekend.
Right.
Where, 3-0, baby.
There's enough underlying to say the Avs are a really good team. They still have to go out and do it in the playoffs when they get there for I'm not worried about all of those narratives. Tonight, you're trying to go 1-0 against an Eastern Conference team of which you say this almost every night, but another game that the Avs should probably win.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of times the Avs are going to be legit underdogs this season, you could probably count on 5, 6 times. I'll see, like, you know, those times you go to Dallas, that type of stuff. But
and even then, are the Avs not favorites? Is it a pick 'em? Like, really?
Yeah, it's probably truly just a pick 'em type scenario.
So that's just how good the Avs are. They deserve credit for that, but also it's never going to be easy.
The privilege of pressure, if you're going to lean into it from a positive standpoint, it's a lot more fun to have expectations and standards than it is to be the team that's, boy, oh boy, it would be nice to just steal one here or there.
Yeah, hard to enjoy stealing ones because most of the time you end up not stealing one.
Kind of a clash of styles tonight, too.
It is. New York, an interesting team in the sense of they play extremely physical hockey. They sent down Matt Rempe earlier in the season, so they don't have the juggernaut 6'7" crusher anymore. But no team has more hits in the league than the Rangers, which, hits is a iffy stat, but still, compared to the Avs, who are in like bottom 10 in that stat, there is going to expect a physical edge to this game, which I think is an interesting conversation for the Avs this year, because the Avs can do it, the Avs will do it, but they also don't have to do it. And I'm curious, I don't have a good read on how much physicality the Avs are going to bring to this game. We could see a brawl. We could see the Avs, protect themselves, but don't lean into it too much and try to beat this team on the ice. I think it really could go either way.
To me, it feels interesting to see how much the Avs' pace comes into play against a team like New York, who's trying to lean on you a little bit, trying to wear you down with physicality. But as we've seen in the past with certain teams that try and play that way, sometimes, especially against the speed that the Avs have, that can lead to some pretty opportunistic opportunities for you.
Absolutely. There should be gaps that the Avs can find. They should be able to take advantage of. The Avs have always been a very good rush team, and it's been interesting this year. The Avs have actually found a lot of success at their in-zone 5-on-5 offense at times.
Much more so than last year, it feels like.
It's not even close. But a team like New York is one where it's like maybe you fall back on some of the pace, some of those rush chances. You'd like to see the Avs finish a couple of those tonight and make New York's life a lot harder than it has to be. And you're going to need some good finishing tonight because Shesterkin, pretty good.
Is this the best goaltender the Avs have played so far?
Maybe.
In the conversation, I would think.
Yeah, for sure.
Trying to think over 24 games or whatever it's been is a little bit off the dome, but
they haven't played any of the truly top goalies in the league like Hellebuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Ottinger has really been just okay this year, so Shesterkin might be the best goalie they've faced, which the Avs face backups that stonewall them all the time. So maybe Shesterkin will have an off night. All right.
If we've learned anything in the Mile High City this year, it's put some respect on backup goaltenders' names. We're not going to get too cute with that one.
Yeah. It's not just Wedgwood, but for whatever reason, a lot of goalies seem to bring their best against the Avs.
I guess it makes sense to an extent of like going back to what we're talking about. If you are the standard, you're the hunted, everybody is trying to play their best against you because they know this is a game that's going to be nationally relevant. It's going to have eyeballs on it. And if you play well against a team like the Avalanche, like it counts. You
move up a peg or two more. For sure. It's fair. I don't know. You would think teams would start their starter more against a team like that, but maybe people have a recipe that I don't understand.
What do you think that is? I think that's just a little bit of coping. Like, hey, it's kind of a win-win scenario. If the Avs just thump us, it's our backup. And what are you going to do if he plays, on his head? Then that's a win. Awesome. Great moment. But feels like a cop-out almost.
I think there is some of that to it. I do think we've talked so much about the weird schedule this year. A lot of teams are playing back-to-backs, and it's like, this is the goalie tonight because that's just how the schedule is.
We were in Vegas yesterday.
Yeah, right. So that's just how it works sometimes, too. I wouldn't read too much into it on that front. what I do find one of the more interesting storylines for tonight, though, is Cale Makar versus Adam Fox.
Yeah.
I'm not putting Adam Fox in the same tier as Cale Makar because I'm not putting anyone in the same tier as Cale Makar on the defensive side of the puck. But it has been a pretty strong year for Fox as far as his production so far this season. As one of those guys who's supposed to be in the upper echelon, for a while there, it was Makar, Hughes, and Fox were supposed to be the big three. Fox kind of fell off last year. You're seeing him turn it around on a New York team that I really don't know what to make of. I think it's interesting because you look at, on a team-to-team basis, teams will fall into trap games. They'll fall into sleepy nights. It happens. But I think we often see, when you take some of the best players in the world, Makar knows when he's playing an Adam Fox. Adam Fox knows when Makar's on the other end of the ice. And you see that kind of raise both ships up, right? That they really want to play their best game against the best competition.
I think there's just human nature in that, right? Like you see that across sports. It was that way with Manning and Brady all those years in football.
Yep.
I mean, it's certainly like that when Jokic goes up against an Oklahoma City or something like that. I mean, I got a little bit more juice for this one.
Yeah, for sure. You would like to see, and I know this is the richest riches problem of you want to see Makar pop off and put a couple in the back of the net. He's producing more than fine this year. He's got 6 goals, which is a 26 goal pace or something right now. Production has not been a problem for Cale, but I don't think we've seen a game this year where Makar really takes over. The closest was the Edmonton game, but then that game ended up 9-1. So a good start from Cale didn't end up really feeling like, oh, this was the Cale Makar game.
Yeah.
I want to see a Cale Makar game.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, if you want to go back to even the end of last season, some of the struggles shooting the puck.
Yep.
It just kind of feels like he's not inaccurate with the shot. It's not like it's disastrous or anything like that, but he hasn't had that
laser
next
beam
level of precision that is what really separated him. It's what made him such a dangerous player, and he's obviously still incredibly dangerous just with everything he can create for you, the way he can skate, his two-way impact. But for a while, it was, he's one of the best defensive players in the league for his defensive abilities. Oh, and also he's as accurate as just about any forward in the NHL, and he's still been really dangerous offensively. But can we get that, like you're saying, that dominant multi-goal night or whatever it is? Across
the course of his career, he is the most prolific goal-scoring defenseman in the NHL by a
wide margin.
Yeah. So,
and this is the standards conversation we have a lot. Yeah. Him and McKinnon, you have to nitpick at times, but we know how good they are, and that's why we are nitpicking.
Because Cale Makar could score a hat trick on any given night.
Any given night.
That's just the expectation of these superstar players. So, is that asking too much at times? Maybe, but also sometimes that's what you need. So, hopefully Cale's the man, steps up. Would love to see it. We also do have Bailey here live. Not live, I suppose. It's from Morning Skate. But nonetheless, she did talk about this one. Let's hear what Bailey had to say going into this game.
What is going on, you guys? Bailey Curtis with DNVR here. It's been 3 days. You guys, 3 days since this Avalanche team has played, but they are back in Ball Arena here tonight for their final game of the homestand against the New York Rangers. This Rangers team has been a heck of a team on the road, you guys, so that it'll be a nice battle heading into tonight's game. Not a whole lot on the news front going on, but did want to mention that Tristan Nielsen was called up from the Colorado Eagles this morning. Has had a heck of a season so far. Second in points and tied for first in goals on the team. Jared Bednar said in his morning skate presser that he really enjoyed what he saw out of Nielsen, not only during training camp, but during preseason as well. Nielsen did mention at the beginning of the season or before the season started that one area of his game he really wanted to correct was his consistency. And Bednar thinks he's done that. He'll get an opportunity to showcase that on Avs ice again here tonight. 7:08 p.m. puck drop. We will see Scott Wedgwood starting in net. But if you guys are looking for something to do tonight for the game, we've got a watch party going on, you guys. So make sure you guys reserve yourself a seat at the DNVR bar so you can catch the entirety of the game. Come watch along with us. Rudo's got a cool watch along stream going, but be sure you guys are in your seats at the DNVR bar to celebrate what is hopefully another win to keep the Avs win streak alive.
7 o'clock start is nice because you can actually like come to the bar and you don't have to leave at midnight when the game ends. I do appreciate that. A couple of topics that Bailey touched on that I want to get into too. But before we do that, I want to hit our stat pack because it really is a weird matchup. These statistics show the Colorado Avalanche statistics at home and the New York Rangers statistics away. The Avs are the best team in the NHL at home by like a lot. They score more than anyone. They give up about as little as anyone. You should be afraid to come to Colorado and play the Colorado Avalanche at home. They have not yet lost in regulation on home ice. They're ridiculously good. However, the Rangers, arguably the best team on the road in the NHL this year. They don't score a super ton, but they score a lot. But Igor Shesterkin and their defense just gives up nothing. They are the best team in the league when it comes to goals against per game on the road. You do not score a lot against this team, even if they do play maybe a lower event hockey game, one that is a little bit mucky and grindy at times. The save percentage there shows it. Igor has a .927 on the road this year. That's ridiculously good goaltending.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a cliche across sports, but I do feel like from a mentality standpoint, when you are one of those grimy, let's muck it up, defensive-minded type teams, that is a characteristic that can travel. And so it makes sense that that's something that doesn't dip drastically. It's still, I'm more confused by their lack of success at home and why that's not translating more.
It's interesting because it almost feels like the Rangers have pigeonholed themselves into playing this way because they aren't producing in the way they expected to this year. Outside of Panarin, their production is bad. Like the way we feel about Brock Nelson's production, where it's not as good as we want.
It's like their top line.
Their entire top six. Basically, all of them you want more out of from New York. So, and honestly, respect to some extent. Instead of like banging your head against that wall, New York has found a way to play effective hockey and not give up a ton of goals and find ways to win in that regard, at least on the road.
Do you think they designed this team with the idea that they would be more potent offensively?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. And are we talking about an aging curve there? Is the age at the top of their lineup finally catching up to them? Maybe there's a little bit of that going on. Zibanejad had kind of been on this downward trend for them for a little bit. So maybe there is some of that, but I do think realistically they thought they would be a better offensive team than they've been this year, even with decent numbers on the road. But it's tough for me to peg down these Rangers.
To me, kind of based on what we know about these two teams, if the Avs were to drop this one, I would think that it would likely be in a fashion where you potentially get goalie, low scoring, a grimy 2-1, 1-0, even a 3-2 type game.
Yeah,
but outside of Panarin and, maybe a moment or two from Fox, I guess, who do you really have on this roster that strikes fear into you?
Not a lot. I don't think there's a lot you need to be afraid of from this Rangers team. The Avs should have the better depth. They should have the better top six. They should have the better defense. Goaltender is the only question mark there. It is Scott Wedgwood tonight. I do want to talk about that, but Jared Bednar talked about that too. So let's hear it from Coach, and then we'll get into it.
Morning.
Reminder to raise your hands for old time's sakes, Peter. Go ahead, buddy.
He's definitely not first today. Point to somebody else.
How are you, Jerry?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, please.
Oh, here we go.
What do you make of this Rangers bunch? What do you see out of that?
Well, they've been, pretty good team, especially on the road, right? Good goaltending, been stingy on the defensive side of things, and they're scoring more on the road. So it's a pretty well-rounded team that works pretty hard. Yeah.
Corey.
What have you seen from Tristan Nielsen that he went from a guy who signed an AHL deal to getting NHL games in the second month of the season?
Yeah, really strong training camp and exhibition season for us. It was a guy that management identified last year and liked the way he played and figured he had some upside, and then he came in and he, exceeded all expectations, and so really glad to have him with us in the organization, get him signed to an NHL deal. It's just another guy that's a good option for us to call up, and hopefully he can continue to do for us what he did in exhibition, what he's been doing for the Eagles.
Colleen?
Checking Scott Wedgwood, not tonight.
Yes.
Eric?
The Sam Girard, Sam Malinsky pairing, what have you kind of thought of them these last couple of years?
Yeah, they've been good. Yeah, solid defensively, chipping in a little bit on the offensive side of it, as we know both of those guys can do. We've talked about Malinsky already in that regard, and Sam's just Girard's just getting back up to speed, I think, a little bit after missing some time, but they've been solid. They've been good.
Any last ones? Go ahead, Ryan.
Your top team in the league. Just overall, how happy are you with the way the team's been playing?
Yeah, happy. Yeah, we talked about it the other day in the presser that I think it's been consistently good since the start of training camp, and guys are focused on the right things, playing the right way, checking the right way, and the offense is still coming for us. So I think pretty well rounded in all aspects of our game.
Jesse?
Is there anything that you guys have to do different this year, just with the schedule being kind of weird as it is, with homes and away, and then knowing that it's so compacted coming out of the Olympic break? Is that something that you guys are all at all talking about right now?
We're not talking about, we're just doing it. We're just basically in late season mode early in the year. It's not, as you know, there's not a lot of practice time. There's lots of optionals. There's no pregame skates that aren't optional. Just making sure our guys get rested, because it's all the teaching and learning is done on video mostly over practice. When we have practices, we're focused on specific things, and because just like we've had this week off, rest was the first thing we wanted to get the guys recovered and get rested, because it's 3 and 4, and then a day off, a practice day, and then it's 3 and 4 again. So the season's just going to be like that. So we're kind of in that late season mode early in the year, and we'll probably continue to stay in it the whole entire year.
Colleen?
That was.
Okay. Bailey?
Going back to Tristan Nielsen, when I talked to him before this season, he mentioned the biggest thing that he wanted to kind of improve in his game was his consistency. Just based on the scouting report and what you've talked to with your personnel in Loveland, have you seen a growth?
Yeah, he's been good. I mean, he's been good in Loveland, really good. One of the top players they have on a nightly basis, and finding a way to contribute a little bit more offensively than probably in years past, and we saw that in training camp. He was physical, responsible, he's got an edge to his game, and yet he was still making plays and getting on the score sheet every night. So I would say to this point in the season, he's been a consistent player.
Last two, Peter, then Corey.
I'm curious, have you gotten to know Mike Sullivan at all, just over the years coaching, and even if not, what do you admire about his style from afar?
Well, he's won 2 cups, coached the Rangers or the Penguins a long time, which I think if you're going to stay someplace a long time, you got to be doing some good things. And I've gotten to know him just a little bit, but not in depth, But he's obviously one of the top coaches in the game, and he's transforming the Rangers now, and they'll play a certain style, and we know they're going to work hard. So he's been doing a nice job wherever he's at, and with Team USA.
Finish, Corey.
Have you noticed now that Utah is here that you're getting more teams like a third game in 4 nights or a second half of a back-to-back, or it just seems like there's this guy, literally the teams that have come out here in the last week have all been on the third and 4 nights or second half of back-to-back.
Yeah, well, because everybody is. I mean, that's just the way the schedule's going. But yeah, I think it helps. There's certain trips that people get, they seem to get overlaid year to year. We used to get teams coming out of Vegas, or they'd play us and then Vegas, and now they're playing Utah and us, and it'll flip-flop here and there. But yeah, once they kind of get a schedule set that makes sense for the travel, it almost gets overlaid every year.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bedsy always respectful of the opponents. We talked about Shesterkin a lot. It does end up being Scott Wedgwood in net for the Avalanche, which is fine. Obviously, Wedgwood played great the other day. Bednar has talked about he's going to play the hot hand in goal. And I think that's really where we're at with this. Wedgwood has already proved he can play very good for stretches, but when you overuse him, he will implode a little bit and he'll have a stretch of bad games. And I think that's where we're at, is Bednar's going to use him until Wedgwood gets to that, I'd call it exhaustion, call it overuse, whatever you want. I think he's going to stick with Wedgwood until we see that dip come again for him, and then we'll start seeing Blackwood again. Obviously, with a back-to-back this weekend, Blackwood will get one of those games. But, I expected more use out of Blackwood at this point from when Blackwood has gotten back, but it seems like Bedsy has a plan.
It's hard to argue with the results.
Yep.
It just becomes a debate of sustainability and how much do we factor in the long-term play? Who do we really believe has the higher ceiling in the big picture of things?
Blackwood.
You would think, right?
It is. There is just...
I mean, how long does this go on to where that becomes a legit question in your mind, I guess?
If Wedgwood is still doing this at the Olympic break, I'll start to believe. Otherwise, the decade of statistics that we have proving that he's a backup goaltender that can get hot for stretches but isn't this guy for a season, that's what I have to lean on.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. You have a large enough sample size at this point. It's just tough where does what your eyes seeing match up with what you view as logical? And do you trust your eyes? And maybe this year could be. I mean, there's a reason that coaches make the big bucks.
He's a Stanley Cup winning coach, and I'm a dude on a couch, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt most of the time. I don't know that there's a ton else to get into on this game as a whole, but when you look at a game like tonight, look, the Avs are the best team in the NHL. They're going for 7 games in a row. The vibes are great. Why not finish off a homestand the right way and go a perfect 4-0 here?
Take care of business. You probably have a scheduled loss coming this weekend.
Yep.
Even if you dropped both of them, even if you dropped 3 in a row, it wouldn't be the end of the world based on the slack you've established
you'd be
at this
fine,
point.
but you'd rather win.
You've set a standard. It'd be nice to continue to maintain it.
Would be fun to get this one because that'd make 19 of their last 20 points in their last 10 games. It would mean they've lost once in regulation in the first 20 games of the season.
I just like beating East Coast teams, too.
That
I
too.
know that's a Colorado native take in me, but...
I mean, the East Coast bias is very real in the NHL.
Especially in hockey.
So sometimes you gotta stamp out the narratives. J-Mike, get out the crystal ball. Give me a score. Give me a name. Can you see into the future of this game? Yeah, a little rhyme there. Yeah.
I'm going to go 4-2 Avs in a game that's kind of tight, kind of grimy, but they pull away, they get it done. I'm going to say Landy gets one tonight.
I like the Landy pick. Does it count? A real goal?
Yes. Important distinction these days. Statistically speaking, you're more likely to hit him being...
Not a fake goal than a real one, yeah. I hope it's a real one for Landy. I'm going to go even more low scoring. I think we're going to need the Avs defense to step up. I want to see like a sub-20 shot performance from New York. Don't give them anything. I'm going to go 2-1. I think Wedgwood's got another 1-goal game in him. I think the Islanders are not going to give up anything free either. So I'm going low scoring on it.
Nice and sweaty.
Yeah, and for the goal scorer, I'm taking Kale, like I said earlier. I want to see the Kale game
You've been
happen.
on that. He is due, too.
Yeah, it does feel like he's due to put one in here. So let's use that to jump into my pregame picks, presented by Bet365, where, of course, things are never ordinary. I did have the Kale goal on there, plus 320. I also took the under, which is about even money, and then I took the Avs power play to actually score with a Nature's power play point. I don't know that it's necessarily the storyline of tonight. The Rangers' special teams are not particularly good, so it's not like something you're super focusing on going into this game, but we are starting to get to the point in the season where your power play has to start mattering. And the Avs have had upswings and downswings a little bit, even if they are underperforming in that area. But you want to start scoring important goals. You want it to start being meaningful in the way you're winning hockey games.
It's just one of those things where it's easy to not fixate on it when you're winning games.
Yep. Winning
all of a sudden it
covers
matters,
up everything.
though, if you drop a couple.
Right.
And it's just one of those things where it's not a thing until it is.
Exactly.
So let's sort it out. I do
Don't
feel
let
like
it
the
become a
process
thing.
has been better the last couple weeks than early
it's
in the
looked good,
season.
But you got to score.
But yeah, at some point you have to find the back of the net.
So
Shoot
hopefully things break the Avs' way with that one. Hopefully they break my way with these bets. Been doing well this year, but if you think I'm stupid, make your own bets. Do it with Bet365. Of course, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. 7-1 Avs. I mean, I'm down. I would love that. I don't
like
know.
some of what you're smoking, my man.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Pass that right down here. Come on down to the DNVR bar, y'all. It's not too late. We got a watch party, great crowd, good food, good vibes, cold drinks, giving away Pios tickets.
It's a great time to be a DNVR fan. Do it there. If you can't make it here, make sure you're always tuning in to the newsletter, which J. Mike writes 5 days a week. He's got all the good stuff. Lots of fun in the NHL, the Avalanche, and honestly, all Denver sports right now. It's all good right now. So we are going to wrap up this pregame show. We got a watch along coming your way. Join Micah and I for that. It's always a fun time. And then, of course, J. Mike and I will break down whatever happens in this game post-game where, you know, hopefully we're nitpicking instead of dealing with actual problems. We appreciate you. We will see you in a few minutes. This has been the DNVR Avalanche pregame show.
We all silly like the mayor.